Shalom to everyone. Welcome once again to Parshat Hashavua Midrash Darova. This is Rav Berg. Great to see you, Bogrot, once again. Great to see all our visitors. Welcome. This Parsha is Parshat Yitro. The Jewish people are receiving the Torah. We came out of Egypt. We turned into a nation. Say, the Netziv was the Rosh Hashiva Volozhin, a great Torah giant who wrote many books, amongst them Emek Davar, based on his Parshat Hashavua shiurim that he gave every day in the yeshiva of Volozhin, a great yeshiva in Europe. And it was Yom Kippur, and everyone went home to eat, and the family of the Netziv, Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin, he lived 120 years ago, his family didn't know where he was, didn't come home. Well, he's an elderly man, he was elderly already, why didn't he come home to eat? And so, they started looking for him in the little village. Looked here, looked there, couldn't find him. Until finally, someone went into the Beit Midrash. And there he was, in the Beit Midrash, sitting in his place, learning Gemara. They rushed up to him. Rabbeinu Netziv, Rabbi, what's the story? Why don't you come home to eat? Why don't you come have the line to eat? And Netziv turned around and said, well, I think it's time. And he said, I'll come with you. So they said to him, why not? What's going on? He said, there's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, Perek Aleph Mishnah Bet, Shimon HaTzadik Hayam Misharei Knesset HaGdolah. He would say, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על התורה, על העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. The world stands on Torah, prayer, and chesed, good deeds. And so people are doing good deeds now. People are praying and saying brachot, but no one's learning Torah. Everyone is eating, and no one is around to keep the world going. And so, while they were eating, I sat and learned Torah. Now I'm sure they finished eating already, and there are many Jews who turn back to learn Torah. There are Jews keeping the world going by learning Torah. Torah keeps the world going. And so, Netziv asked a question in his introduction to the Emek Davar, the beginning of Shmot, introduction to Shmot, and he says the following question: why does it say Ve'ele Shmot Bnei Yisrael? Famous question. And he brings the Bahag, who says that the book of Shmot is a continuation of the book of Bereshit, and therefore it's called Sefer HaSheni, the second book. And what's it all about? Well, why doesn't it not have a special name? Why is it called Sefer HaSheni? And so he has a beautiful answer, and he says, in this book we come out of Egypt, and we receive the Torah. Says the Netziv, and these are his words, Nimtza, the Matan Torah hu gmar habriya. The giving of the Torah is the completion of creation. The world was created in 6 days, and the seventh day was Shabbat. And the world developed with Moshe, with Avraham Avinu, and Yitzchak and Yaakov. Gmar habriya, the end of creation, was when the Jewish people received the Torah, brought Torah to the world. And so that's how we have to look at this week's Parsha. The world was created, and all creation was leading up to this great moment when the Jewish people received Torah. Okay, let's have a look at what the Maharal teaches us about Torah and mitzvot. The Maharal lived 500 years ago. He was born in 1512, and he was the Rav of Prague. The Maharal was one of the greatest scholars of all time, both in the Nigla revealed Torah and the hidden Torah. And he took Kabbalah and he brought it down into very wonderful books. They're called Sifrei HaMaharal, as you can see over here, in my copy. They're different colors, different versions. And he speaks about all different things. And we have a book called Netiv HaTorah, one of the books of Netivot Olam, Ways of the Torah, the way of Torah. And he explains us about what the essence of Torah is all about. And he brings the Gemara Masechet Sotah and says as follows: Zu darash Rabbi Menachem bar Rabbi Yossi, and they bring a pasuk, Ki ner mitzvah v'Torah or. A mitzvah is a candle and Torah is light. Question: why is a mitzvah a candle and why is Torah light? And what's the difference between them? What's the difference between mitzvot and Torah? And why is there a difference? Isn't keeping mitzvot part of Torah? And so the Gemara itself begins to explain. The Gemara says as follows: Mashal la'adam Shaya ma'alech be'ishon laila. Once upon a time there was a man who went for walk, who had to go through this forest in the midst of night, darkest of night. And he had three challenges, three problems in his way. Says the Gemara, the first one is kotzim barakanim u'mechpachatim. Thorns, thorn bushes and holes in the ground that he can fall into of his own feet. The next problem he has is chaya ra'ah, wild animals, and listim, and bandits that can attack him from the outside. And also, then he has a major problem. He doesn't know which way to go. So then the parable continues. He comes across a candle. And now he's really protected. He won't fall into the holes. He won't fall into the thorn bushes because he can see just around him. He won't fall into thorns. But he still has a problem. He may be attacked from the outside. He has a problem that he may also doesn't know which way to go. So then it's daybreak. Daybreak comes along. Unbelievable. He sees a beautiful forest. And then he sees that now he won't be attacked by wild animals. And he won't be attacked by bandits. They don't attack during the night. But now he has a final problem. He does not know which way to go. So now the Maharal comes along and explains. And what does he say? He says that the candle is a mitzvah. The candle protects the man from falling into the holes, into the thorn bushes. So mitzvot protect us from falling into the holes of life, into the thorn bushes of life. One keeps mitzvot, one does not fall into those holes, into the traps of life. And it gives a person, mitzvot give a person a framework. Shabbat, Chagim, marriage, kashrut, wonderful. Gives him a really nice framework, and he won't mess up his own life because his days are full with keeping mitzvot. Wonderful. And there are many people like that who do that. But something's missing. He may be attacked from the outside. He can still be attacked by those wild animals and bandits. What are the wild animals and bandits? The Maharal speaks about the physical world and things that come after you. And I'd like to add, things that come after you are the Yetzer Hara. Sometimes we find ourselves in a situation where, maybe, my Yetzer Hara takes hold of me. Wild animals could be people who challenge your beliefs. And we suddenly have to answer those questions, and we don't always have an answer. And so we're hit by this wild animal, and they say, whoa, what's Shabbat about? And I believe in it. And you stand there, my mitzvot don't help you give a good answer. And you're knocked over by this. Suddenly, unexpectedly, this ideology comes up and knocks you over. You don't learn Torah, so you don't have the way to answer, even for yourself, to answer yourself. So daybreak comes along. Daybreak is Torah, says the Maharal. Torah is light. And so if a person not only keeps mitzvot, but he also learns Torah, that person will be filled with light. And that those Yetzer Hara that bounce up and come attack each one of us, all different types of Yetzer Hara in all different fashions and ways, that comes along and challenges us. We have Torah to keep us strong. Those people who challenge our beliefs, we are learning Torah each and every week. We have times for learning Torah and Shiurim, and we know how to answer. We know how to answer our own questions that every one of us has, and it's perfectly natural to have questions. And that's what Torah is all about, to ask the questions and to answer those questions. So if it's not enough just to keep mitzvot, keeping mitzvot is a candle. You won't mess up your life, but Torah will give you the light of day. And so, what are the three opinions that teach us what is the way to go? The Gemara says, "My Parshat Rachim." What is the signpost? And we have Rav Chisda, we have Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, and we have Mar Zutra. Each one has a different approach, and let's have a look. So Rav Chisda says, Talmid Chacham. Someone needs someone to direct them. A person keeps mitzvot. You learn Torah. You need that Torah scholar to guide you. You need, the Mishnah says, Asel Harav. You need someone to guide you. And so We have to belong to a certain group of Jews. If we belong to Bnei Akiva, we belong to Chabad, whatever it is, we belong to, and we have a Rav who can ask questions and guide us. And one can have Rabbanim for different things. You can have a Rav for Kashrut, you can have a Rav for personal, for deeper questions. You can have a Rebbetzin for personal questions, for guidance. A person needs someone to guide them. And that's what Rav Chisda says. That's the signpost in the forest. You have Torah, mitzvot, but we need someone to guide us. Comes along Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, and he says the following: Talmid Chacham. He agrees with Rav Chisda, Talmid Chacham. We all need a Rav, but he adds on something else. He said Yirat Chet. What is Yirat Chet? Fear from sin. We translate it and develop it. We say Emunah, faith in Hashem, trust in Hashem. In other words, it's not enough just to learn Torah. One has to develop your emunah in Hashem, your belief in Hashem. And so together with your Torah learning, whether it's Chumash, whether it's Mishnah, one has to be always on the side, be learning emunah in Hashem. And this we learn from Rav Kook, and we learn from Rav Tziyudah Kook, his son. That emunah, learning faith in Hashem, is part of our day, part of our week. And the parable is given of salt. We have food, and it's delicious food. It's nourishing, but if we don't put salt in that food, food is tasteless. And so the emunah that we learn, those books of faith in Hashem that we learn, is the salt of our food. They give salt to our Torah. And so says Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, one has to develop your faith in Hashem. What is Am Yisrael? What is Eretz Yisrael? What is Torah? Just like we're doing right now. What is Hashem? And one always has to be learning these wonderful books that have been written, Maharal, the Kuzari, the Rambam, and all these other wonderful books that we have in the modern world in English and all that, to develop a faith in Hashem. So that's the second thing. The third thing is it says in our Gemara. So after explaining the opinions of Rav Chisda and Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak as to what Parshat Drachim is, we have another opinion. The other opinion is Mar Zutra. What does Mar Zutra say? Zuch Talmid Chacham de Mesik Shmatata Aliba de Hilchata. What does this mean? A person should learn Torah and bring it into their lives. It shouldn't be something theoretical. It shouldn't be something that is just an intellectual pursuit. Torah has to come into your life. If we learn about anger, we should try and overcome our anger. If we learn about whatever it is, we have to make it real and as part of our lives. And that's what it's all about. The Maharal goes on to say that what is halacha? Halacha is halicha, walking in the ways of Hashem. And that's what we have to do. And so to sum up, we started off saying, Ki ner mitzvah v'torah or. A mitzvah is a candle. Torah is light. We have to bring the light into our lives. And so we have to keep mitzvot. Bring candles in our lives, the light of a candle. That's not enough. We have to bring Torah into our life and see the beautiful world and enable us to make the world a better place. But we need our Parshat Drachim. And the three opinions are we need a Rav or somebody to direct us, or different people to direct us. And then we need Yirat Shamayim. We have to learn and develop our faith in Hashem. And not only that, we have to make sure that our Torah learning is not something theoretical, something that comes down in our lives. I'd like to wish everyone Shabbat Shalom and much goodness from Rav Berg and Midrashet Arava.